What happens when a beloved television personality finally reaches their breaking point during a live broadcast? Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking moments in daytime television history that left viewers absolutely stunned. The tensions had been building for weeks, but nobody expected what happened when Valerie Bertinelli appeared as a guest on The View. What started as a simple interview about cooking and family quickly spiraled into a verbal battleground that would change everything. The heated exchange became so intense that it led to an unprecedented live television meltdown that had producers scrambling behind the scenes. Before we get into all the explosive details, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you think really caused this dramatic fallout. The morning started like any other at the View Studios in New York. The crew was setting up for what they thought would be a light-hearted interview with Valerie Bertinelli, who was there to promote her new cookbook and talk about her recent life changes. The producers had specifically chosen Valerie because they wanted a feel-good segment to balance out the heavier political discussions that had been dominating the show lately. What they got instead was a powder keg waiting to explode. Joy Behar had been having a particularly difficult week. Behind the scenes, sources say she'd been increasingly frustrated with the direction of the show and felt that her opinions weren't being respected by both the producers and some of her co-hosts. She'd been making comments about feeling undervalued and overlooked, especially when it came to booking decisions and segment planning. Little did anyone know that this simmering resentment was about to boil over in the most public way possible. As the cameras rolled and the show went live, everything seemed normal at first. Whoopi Goldberg introduced the segment with her usual warmth, welcoming Valerie to the table with genuine enthusiasm. The other co-hosts chimed in with their greetings, and Valerie seemed relaxed and happy to be there. She started talking about her cookbook, sharing some personal stories about rediscovering her love for cooking after going through some difficult times in her personal life. "You know, cooking has always been my therapy," Valerie said with a smile. "But lately, it's become something even more meaningful. It's about nourishing not just my body, but my soul." The audience was clearly connecting with her heartfelt words, and the interview was flowing beautifully. That's when Joy decided to interject. "Well, that sounds wonderful and all," Joy said with a slight edge to her voice that the others immediately picked up on. "But don't you think it's a little privileged to talk about cooking as therapy when so many people can barely afford groceries right now?" The comment came out of nowhere and completely shifted the energy in the room. Valerie looked genuinely surprised by the hostile tone. "I'm sorry. I don't understand what you mean by that," Valerie responded, trying to keep her composure. "I've actually been very open about my own financial struggles and how cooking helped me get through some really tough times. I'm not sure why you're making this about privilege." Joy leaned forward in her chair, her voice getting sharper. "Oh, please. You're a celebrity with multiple houses, talking about how cooking heals your soul. Do you have any idea how tone-deaf that sounds? While regular people are choosing between paying rent and buying food, you're here promoting another cookbook that probably costs $30. The tension in the studio became palpable. Whoopi tried to jump in to redirect the conversation, but Joy wasn't having it. She continued her attack with increasing intensity. "And another thing, why is it that every time a celebrity goes through a divorce or breakup, they suddenly become a cooking expert? It's like you all have the same publicist feeding you the same script about finding yourself in the kitchen." Valerie's face began to flush, but she maintained her dignity. "Joy, I really don't appreciate the personal attacks. I came here to talk about something that genuinely helped me through a difficult period in my life. I never claimed to be an expert, and I certainly never suggested that my experience was universal. I shared my story hoping it might help someone else who's going through something similar." "Help someone else?" Joy scoffed, rolling her eyes dramatically. "The only thing you're helping is your bank account. This whole reinventing yourself through cooking thing is just another celebrity cash grab. And frankly, I'm tired of pretending otherwise." The other co-hosts were now exchanging worried glances, clearly uncomfortable with how aggressive Joy was being toward their guest. Sarah Haynes attempted to step in, saying, "I think what Valerie is trying to share is really beautiful, and many people do find comfort in cooking during difficult times." But Joy immediately turned her fire towards Sarah as well. "Oh, you think it's beautiful too?" Joy snapped. "Of course you do. You probably think every celebrity's journey of self-discovery is beautiful and inspiring. Well, I think it's calculated and fake, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend otherwise just to make everyone comfortable." The audience was now completely silent, sensing that something was going very wrong. Valerie took a deep breath and tried one more time to defuse the situation. "Joy, I honestly don't know what I've done to upset you, but this feels very personal. If you have an issue with me specifically, maybe we should discuss it privately rather than attacking me on live television." That comment seemed to push Joy over the edge. She slammed her hand down on the table, causing everyone to jump. Personal. You want to know what's personal? What's personal is watching this show turn into a celebrity therapy session, where we're supposed to nod along and praise every has-been actor who writes a cookbook. What's personal is being told I need to be nicer to guests who are clearly just here to sell their products. Whoopi finally had enough and tried to take control. "Joy, I think we need to take a breath here and remember that we have a guest." But Joy was beyond reasoning at this point. She stood up from her chair, her face red with anger, and pointed directly at Valerie. "Don't lecture me about taking a breath, Whoopi. I've been taking breaths for years while watching this show lose its edge and turn into some kind of celebrity love fest. Well, I'm done taking breaths, and I'm done pretending that every C-list celebrity who stumbles onto this stage deserves our respect just because they wrote a book about finding themselves." Valerie finally stood up as well, her own patience completely exhausted. "That's enough. I don't know what your problem is, but I'm not going to sit here and let you disrespect me like this. I came here as a guest, and you're treating me like I personally wronged you somehow." Joy laughed bitterly. "Wronged me? Honey, you couldn't wrong me if you tried. You're not important enough to wrong me. You're just another aging actress desperately trying to stay relevant by writing cookbooks and talking about your feelings. It's pathetic. And what's even more pathetic is that we're supposed to pretend it's inspiring." The insult hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Valerie's eyes filled with tears, but she refused to back down. "You know what's really pathetic, Joy? A woman your age bullying someone on live television because you're clearly miserable with your own life. I feel sorry for you." Those words hit Joy like a physical blow. Her face went from red to almost purple. And for a moment, she seemed completely speechless. When she finally spoke, her voice was low and dangerous. "Miserable with my own life," Joy repeated slowly. "You think I'm miserable? Let me tell you what miserable looks like, sweetheart. Miserable is being a washed-up actress who peaked in the 80s and now has to write cookbooks to pay the bills. Miserable is having to reinvent yourself every few years because nobody remembers why they cared about you in the first place." Valerie shook her head in disbelief. "This is unbelievable. I've never experienced anything like this in 20 years of doing interviews. What is wrong with you? What's wrong with me?" Joy's voice was rising again. "What's wrong is that I've been doing television longer than you've been relevant, and I have to sit here and listen to your sob story about finding yourself through cooking like it's some kind of profound revelation. What's wrong is that this show used to have standards." Whoopi stood up from her chair, clearly trying to regain control. "Joy, that's enough. We need to go to commercial right now." But Joy spun around to face Whoopi. "Don't you dare tell me that's enough, Whoopi. You've been letting this show turn into a joke for years, booking these nobody guests and expecting us to treat them like they matter." "Well, I'm not playing that game anymore." The other co-hosts were frozen in shock. Behind the scenes, producers were frantically trying to figure out how to handle the situation, but the cameras kept rolling. Valerie, still standing, looked directly at Whoopi. "I think I should leave. This is clearly not about me, and I don't want to be part of whatever this is." As Valerie started to gather her things, Joy wasn't finished. "Oh, you want to leave? How convenient. Can't handle a little honest conversation? This is exactly what I'm talking about." Valerie stopped and turned back. "Honest conversation? Is that what you call this? You've done nothing but attack me personally since I sat down." Sunny host finally found her voice. "Joy, I think we all need to step back and take a moment here. This isn't productive for anyone." But Joy turned on Sunny too. "Productive? You want to talk about productive, Sunny? What's productive about giving airtime to people who have nothing meaningful to contribute?" Valerie had heard enough. She looked directly into the camera. "I want to apologize to anyone watching this. I came here to share something positive and instead you're witnessing something very ugly." That enraged Joy even more. "Don't you dare apologize for me," she screamed. Whoopi stood between them. "Joy, you need to stop this right now." But Joy pushed past. "I'll stop when I'm ready to stop. I'm tired of being managed and handled." Valerie spoke with quiet dignity. "I genuinely hope you get the help you clearly need. I'm leaving now." As Valerie walked away, Joy shouted after her. "Good. Don't come back and take all your celebrity friends with you." The silence that followed was deafening. Sarah was the first to speak. "Joy, what just happened? That was so unlike you." Joy laughed bitterly. "Unlike me? This is exactly like me. I'm tired of pretending." Whoopi tried to salvage it. "Joy, let's just sit down and finish the show." But Joy was beyond reasoning. Finish the show. You think we can just pretend this didn't happen? I don't know how to pretend anymore. This show has lost its way. Joy addressed the audience directly. You want to know the truth? We've been told to play it safe, avoid controversy, make nice with celebrities. Whoopi stepped forward. Joy, this is not the time. But Joy continued her tirade, pacing the stage. I'm 68 years old and I don't have time for sugar coating anymore. She noticed audience members recording. Go ahead, record this. Let the world see what happens when someone tells the truth. Then, shockingly, she declared, I'm done. I'm done with this show. She unclipped her microphone. I've never meant anything more in my life. Sarah pleaded. Joy, please don't do this. But Joy gathered her things. The show will replace me before my parking space gets cold. With sadness, she said, this isn't one bad day. This is years of frustration. She walked off the stage. I wish you all the best. But I can't be part of this anymore. Whoopi addressed the audience shakily. We're going to take a quick break. The internet exploded with clips going viral. The View would continue, but it would never be the same. That's a wrap on one of the most shocking moments in television history. What do you think really pushed Joy over the edge? Was it years of built-up frustration, or something deeper? Let me know in the comments below.